Watch me paint leaves while I talk about random stuff. As you can see, I've already painted the vast majority of this piece, something that I just did purely for fun because up until now I've mostly been painting to get like inventory for my little shop. This particular one is just of my cat Nico back when she was alive, so this piece is commemorating her, and it's something very special for me and something I plan to keep for myself. I kind of just wanted to try out a new style with her, except the roses are my usual, though you can kind of see that the orange one in the corner went a little crazy on me, but I'm happy with how she turned out, especially her eyes. But I just want to do a little bit of a painting chat, so I'll just be painting the leaves and, possibly finishing this thing. So the way I'm painting them, it's very simple, so that the focus is mostly on my cat. I darkened the sap green with burnt umber, and I pretty much just go from there using an imaginary value scale to create the impression of a leaf. And I also probably get some paint in places it doesn't belong, but that's all corrected at the end. And I'll probably skip around because I don't want this video to be too long. So my art store, the date of my art store is getting pushed back because I realized I still have a lot that I need to get ready for. And I start my final rotation for physical therapy school on the 13th. So I obviously won't have as much time to get everything ready, especially when you consider I'm going to really start studying for the boards then. I want to try and offer prints on my shop too, so I've got to get that figured out. But luckily most of the website is done. I also want to try to get enough content uploaded to my socials since, again, I'm going to have even less time once I start my rotation. And, of course, when I'm done with my rotation, I'm going to have to be studying for the boards for, a few hours every day. And depending on how the rotation even goes, I may or may not have the energy to do any socials during the week. So now I kind of want to put my focus on my book, When Stars Die, that's supposed to be coming out on Halloween. It's the first book in a series that I haven't determined how many books there are even going to be, because initially this was actually a trilogy many, many years ago when I started it. I was like 14 when I started it, and I'm 33 now. It does have a sequel, though, called The Stars Are Infinite, which you can look up in Google or Amazon or whatever, but that book is being revamped entirely because the whole purpose of the original trilogy was a whole save the world concept with kill a god at the end. And after being completely burnt out by the second book, because I had to do so many edits to it and so many rewrites, I was just bored of the third book. I had it outlined, I had it written and everything, and I was just so bored by it. And I basically took a long writing break throughout all of physical therapy school, and I never got the passion back for being able to complete this trilogy. It was just boring, and I couldn't come up with any other thing. So I wasn't even going to finish out the series, and I was just going to leave When Stars Die as a standalone until legitimately a few weeks ago I had a dream that told me to turn it from a trilogy or a standalone to like a chronicle of sorts with a new character, every book being forced to adapt to a world that's very hostile to witches. So the first book has always been able to somewhat function as a standalone, though the epilogue does kind of give hints to a sequel. But the good things is I'm going to be able to change the sequel in its entirety, so that way it opens up a possibility for exploring this little universe that I've created, which I'm really excited about, because this means I'm not going to know the ending of every book I write. And to me, that is so much more exciting than having everything outlined and knowing how it's going to end, and there's just no excitement for me to write it, if that makes any sense. This actually is not When Stars Die's first publication. In fact, this is the third edition. It has two editions with different publishers, both of which unfortunately folded because they were small presses. I actually did land a contract with a mid-sized publisher that has a lot of books published and even bestsellers associated with it. But the communication was very poor to non-existent, and when the contract lapsed, I just decided to take control of it myself. So here's my little elevator pitch. When Amelia discovers her younger brother is a witch, they must flee or die. So that's kind of what that is about with When Stars Die. And now I'm just going to paint the rest of this off camera. And now here's the finished piece.